Sound okay?
Yeah.
Cool. Hello, everybody. We are some of the folks at Waste Division, and we are doing a live stream because, the three of us, at least 4, 5 in this room, are musicians, and we like to play performances and do shows. But we haven't been able to do that, so we thought we would focus our energies elsewhere, namely online, which is our available platform. So thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
We have with us Shane DeLeon of Kirk's Grocery and his band Massive Snowflake.
Yeah.
I'm probably missing a lot of
That's
other
good.
shit
That's
that
enough.
you do. Yeah.
That's enough.
And then Ty Herman over here helps organize Julia Louise Dry Fest.
Woo!
Yeah.
And he has a band that I'm in with him called, what is it called again?
X-Cat.
Yeah, X-Cat.
Yeah, I like that name.
Yeah.
It's a good band name.
And so we're just going to bullshit with Shane for a bit here.
Cool.
Like a half hour. And then we have our friend Chad Zigweid. Zigweid? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of the band Bill Moved Away, also a Billings staple. And we're just hoping to have some fun. Drink some beers and hang out. Hopefully you guys can get into it with us.
Party down.
Yeah. We are very thankful to Tyson Kreider, who's running audio and running visuals for this, making sure that we don't fuck up the technical aspect. So thanks very much to him. Are we taking donations on this?
Yeah, we are taking donations
Yeah.
on this.
Let's take.
Yeah.
We could post about that, but
Yeah.
so you can. I guess they could just pay me
Yeah.
on Venmo. I'm Filthy G6. That's PHILTHYG and the number 6. Or my. I guess we'll show the other stuff info in the description. But I don't want to talk anymore. I'd rather have Shane talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. What the fuck have you been doing? It's been a while.
I've been working on some recordings. I've been trying to figure out what to do with Kirk's in the future.
Yeah.
As and from a lot of levels, how to engage with the community we already created, and how that's kind of been blown apart through. We can't really get together in those numbers. How to. What I've always liked about Kirk's is that it's small. When things are small, you can kind of control them. You can't really control anything, but the smaller they are, the more you can control them.
Right.
And that was one of our strong points, I think. And so I keep thinking about going even smaller, like, letting only like 5 people in at a time.
Right.
Kind of be like a Supreme store in LA where there's like 2 block lines and you only come by appointment. But we make your experience really awesome.
Yeah.
We open up this week, and I'll be doing a tour every night at 8. It's an hour tour. If up to 5 people, first 5 people can come in. I'm going to lock the door. We're going to be open Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 3 to 9.
Yeah.
And then come in at 8 o'clock and walk through and ask me any questions. We can go into any of the back rooms. We can look at anything. And so every night at Kirk's will be up to 5 people.
The basement even, maybe?
Yeah, that's legal numbers to go down in the basement. We can go down in the basement. Yeah, that we can totally go down in the basement. So that's exciting to open back up after being closed for. We closed March 13th. It was a Chamber of Goo event, which was a movie night, and it was really fun.
Yeah. So how has Kirk's been doing with the downturn here?
We've done surprisingly well. People have been home and they've been shopping, and I spent a lot of time working on our website with Upfresh Media, which is Keith Zenitramp.
Yeah.
He's totally
Zenitramp.
Woo! He's totally kicked ass and made me a website where you can just go look up an artist, Renee Audette. You go to her page. There's all the work we have by her. I photographed it all the first couple weeks of COVID. You can buy it. There's a shipping price there. I can wake up and ship it to you the next day.
Cool.
And that's been working. We've been doing some Friday night live streams with Mary Serby and Stan Parker, and
very cool.
And yeah, we've done surprisingly well. People have been shopping.
Cool.
That's the wealthy still have money.
Yeah, right. I should say real quick, cut in. We are taking questions and comments in our comment section here on YouTube. So if you want to say anything to us or to Shane or to Chad later, or to Tyson or whatever, then you can. But so you've been doing that. What the fuck have you been up to? Like more in detail. You mentioned like some recording that you've been doing.
Ty's in a band with me called Miss Massive Snowflake.
You guys should talk more too.
Yeah. I met Ty. I moved to Billings 3 years ago, and one of the first things I did when I moved here was go to Julie Weed's Dry Fest it was Richard Dry Fest then. Mm-hmm. I moved to Billings, and I was like, oh, this town's all right. There's a freaking music festival. And I saw it was, the bill was Zenitram, which is why I went to the show, because he was a friend of mine. And it was Matty Alpert. And it was the first time I'd ever seen Matty Alpert play, and Wes Urbaniak was playing with him. And now I know that Wes Urbaniak's a jokester. Yeah, but it was the first time I'd ever seen it. And they were great, and I just loved Matty's music. And Wes was amazing, and he made a comment that it was his first time ever playing live. And I was like, holy God.
Wait, really?
Yeah, but he was lying. He was just like making banter with the audience, you know. But I didn't know him. It was my first time. It's a Discontent. It's like a vape shop.
Yeah.
And,
shredding away.
Yeah, and
first time.
Yeah, like live. He said live, you know. So I was like, okay, you know, some people are just Shredder studio musicians.
Closet.
And I was like, wow. And then I went up to 10 that night. And then a lot of people went over to Smiling Dog for whatever. I know you guys had your big show that night. This was a few years ago.
Yeah, I used to be home.
Yeah. And I went to 10 because I didn't know a lot was happening. And he was doing a solo set there. Wes was. And I was like, oh, this motherfucker got me. He totally lied to me an hour ago.
Dude. Yeah.
And now he's here at this really bougie restaurant, and he's like totally killing it, you know? Okay. Right. So, and I love being fooled because I love misinformation and I love confusion and chaos.
It's a good day. It's a good fucking time for you then.
Right? Yeah. I'm loving it right now. And I love a good joke.
You know? Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I don't know, Ty. Do you have more? Do you want to cut it?
Yeah. So we were doing recordings. I'll try to keep talking.
Yeah.
We were we're in a band, Miss Massive Snowflake, and we've been doing a new album that's kind of a lot of it is about being a fan of music, which is really pertinent now because a lot of the album is about, from a fan's point of view, how much they love seeing their favorite band. As you can attest by the lyrics, they just keep talking about a fan's relationship with music and how beautiful that relationship is. And how moving it can be. Yeah. So that was already going on, and during that time, I just sent Ty a song last week that actually talks about, being in these times, and so it's kind of it's about COVID. There's some lyrics that are like, I don't know, the festivals are canceled and the house show's homeless now. You know, hopefully next year in the front row, clad in black, holding a rose. It's like this fan saying I'm gonna be.
Cool.
So it's been real. That's been really fun, and we've been working with this guy Andy, and Jeannie will come in, and Keith's gonna come in, and a lot of the Miss Massive Snowflake alumnus, like people we tour Italy with. He's been playing on it. This guy Jacopo Andreini and Arrington from Old Time Religion, and just amazing player. He's putting some horn on it.
Cool.
Ties. Cool. It's been going well. It's been going well.
And you've been doing that remotely, obviously, just like...
Yeah, I just started recording at Kirk's. I'm not great at it, but I just asked Andy what he would need, so I was just playing to a click track, playing my songs, guitar and vocals. He's just putting guitar and vocals, sending them to him, and he's flushing them out.
Right.
And, get them to everybody. But, it's a long process. It's not easy, and everybody has other things going on.
And everybody has to record on their own at home. Like, Ty's been up in a cabin... recording shit
out in Big Timber, got like limited bandwidth. Like internet is real bad out there, but
I love the guitar you've been putting down on it.
Thanks. It's pretty fun. Like I would definitely prefer to be in the same room. That sort of camaraderie that happens when you're like bouncing ideas off of each other. Like, oh, what if we like turn this pedal all the way up or whatever? Like I kind of miss that.
You don't have to send a mix to somebody and they mix it and then you hear it and you're like, oh, I want this to change, and then you send it. That's like the time comes in of like that, the email communication where if you're in the same room, you just say like, oh, cut the guitar there.
Right.
Now bring it back in, and that could take 2 weeks through the internet because you tell them to take it out and then you tell them to take it back in, So
It's not as immediate.
Yeah, and so it takes a lot longer. But I try not to be anxious about things.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of my names.
Yeah.
And yeah, kind of the like lyrical concept you were talking about earlier about most of the songs being about the audience is like a really fun like perspective for me to like play around with too. Is because like I feel like musicians a lot of time, or like for myself being a musician, sometimes like it's just like I want to sound good, I want to like write cool songs or whatever, and so much of it is just like inwardly looking and like like realizing that people are affected by what you do in whatever like level.
Yeah.
It's just cool to kind of wrap your head around like, oh, you enjoy this too, and like what's your interaction with music, because mine's different,
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah. I mean, I reference that in the lyrics too. There's some lines that are like, when I was young and dumb and out of my mind, jump around, scream and dance, holding up handmade signs, but now I softly nod along, mouthing each and every word to every one of your songs. So it's just like this, like, you get, you might mellow out, you might not be making handmade signs and like, wearing a sock on your dick at the Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
Which I did. That was a fun concert. That was a good time.
What year was that?
Probably like 90 or something. Fucking Palladium shit in LA.
Yes.
It wasn't the whole thing, but you're like, you're just an idiot. Southern California stuff. Skater culture. Skater culture is the best. Thank you, skateboarding.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah,
And music. Skateboarding and music there. Creative world.
I'm interested in that theme with the fans and the artists, because I've been thinking about like how that boundary breaks down too. Like as an artist, I also consider myself like more of a fan. Like I have people that I look up to that I'm like a fucking fanboy about, and
Because you can take like that inspiration and funnel it exactly back into what is happening in a chain of like musical history.
Right.
Yeah.
And then also
That's
like
cool.
I was talking, we went on a hike the other day, me and my partner Sarah and then her other partner Ethan were out, and he was talking about how he only recently realized that he like is a music consumer, and like it was kind of a head trip for him to wrap around, because like it's kind of a bad term to be a consumer nowadays. But I also kind of countered with him. I was like, yo, like as much of a, I don't know, I guess I'm an artist or whatever, but I consider myself a consumer more, because I like listen to what these guys are doing, and then every now and then I'll like try to channel that. But I'm always interested in like breaking down boundaries of stuff. So I think that's cool. It strikes me the Hold Steady. Jordan, can you help me remember? The Hold Steady had a song about like we're all just dust in the spotlight. We're just kind of floating. Those are lyrics, but it's a song.
His head now.
No, Jordan doesn't know.
I was listening to it today, but no, I can't.
It's on Constructive
I
Summer, but
listened to that song today.
yeah, they talk about like how it's kind of like worshiping, like our new version of church is like going to a show, like at a scene, and having that sense of community and that sense of unity when like everybody can
Because
sing
it is
the lyrics.
universal. I mean, music is.
Oh yeah.
Well, and especially if people know the words to your songs, and there's like a tighter thing where like if you could sing something together, then like that's really cool.
Special,
and
right? Special
yeah, like a
connection.
spiritual kind of bullshit thing going on, and so that's sweet. I didn't know that was the theme of the album.
Yeah, and that's been a really fun. I've been thinking about it for a few years, and I wrote the first song that kicked it off is the song "To the Bone," and it's really just about kind of starts. It tells the story of a performer that tells like, to me, it's like a performer comes out, looks at the band, and says like, "I'm the shit." And you step aside as the band. You're like, we've never played with this person, but we're gonna let this person lead the band tonight. You know? And then
Nice.
that person actually pulls it off. And how, as a musician, it's actually from a musician's point of view.
Yeah.
It's from the sideman in the
Sideman,
band's
that's
point
good.
of view, watching the main performer, and the performer pulls it off and blows everybody's mind. And then you're like, oh, well, right on. That's kind of the setup for the album, is like, I'm badass, and the awesome session player is like, yeah, you know how many badass players I've played with. And that player's like, oh, you're badass. You know what I mean? Like, and then it just goes on from there. It shifts to like, the home musician that's listening from, I try to give these perspectives of someone from the audience, and like all these different perspectives of why you would love live music. And now it's really pertinent. It was started before this, but
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know.
it was. Oh,
Oh, yeah,
of
yeah,
course.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
you have
was-
so many
it was-
songs. Yeah.
so it was already in the works. I actually wrote it like New Year's Day. I don't know, 2018.
Yeah.
19. I wrote the first song 2018.
Wow.
I remember writing it on New Year's Day. Like, you know, on New Year's Day, you're always inspired. Like, what can I do today? And you always like kick out like, you know, a ton of stuff. I always do.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you tapers off through the week and then you just get back to your normal. You know, my only resolutions usually are like do more art. So that's pretty
Right.
easy, especially on New Year's Day. You don't got to work.
Sure. Right.
Not gonna ever work, but
So I wonder, you just mentioned about like watching the lead player as like from a side view, or just all the sort of interactions that happen at live music shows, like, and how now people are like maybe missing that more, maybe starting to like realize that more. Like, what do you think that is that like we can't really like articulate? Like, why is it special to be in a room like with an audience?
I think it's like he said, like, you know, it's like church or whatever. I mean, because I mean, for me, that would be the universal language, would be music, because nothing else makes me like feel like I'm in harmony with the world than when I'm listening to a song I love and like the moment is right. You know, I mean, that's like that's the best I'm gonna feel. You know, maybe, you know, in some cool country where they don't speak English. You know, but I don't know what I'm saying.
That's all right.
You know,
No.
it was. I love music, and it's so, you know, and I've been playing music live, and you know, many shows and many albums, and I love it more and more the older I get, and I hope that and then I meet someone your age who's half my age. You know, we play together, and it has nothing to do. We're like total peers instantly because we just are like.
You could talk that language.
Yeah, you know, and he's much more of a technician than I am. I mean, as far as musical playing, I think, you know, like you analyze the waveforms of actual sound going through your pedals. Maybe not so much as like you're playing these crazy, well, you might be playing crazy chords, but you're not worried about how fast your fingers are moving or how good you are at scales or whatever. Like, you're working with sound and sculpting sound, and, you know, moving moods. You're like a mood creator, you know. You're more interested in making sure that a song.
Whereas you do, as a songwriter, like framework building, like more general stuff, and then a mood builder like puts shit on top of that.
Yeah, you know, when I first started, I only was a singer, and I was real crazy. I was punk rock, you know, so I was like smashing things and breaking things and climbing on shit and doing all that, you know, stuff you do as a teenager and in your 20s and 30s and 40s. And you do that stuff, and I'm losing it. I don't know.
That's okay.
That's good. Yeah.
I want to talk about like how, going back about, it's interesting that you started writing that way about how like live shows are so important, and then now we have this thing that makes it so they don't happen anymore.
Yeah.
I
I got to write one song about it. I mean, that's just real cool. Like, I didn't mention it a lot, but I threw in like a lyric for me that is someone who will look back in history and be like, oh, that was probably right during that time.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and I'm kind of like wondering how this will go. Like, if people will value live shows more when they come back a bit. Like, I don't know. And I don't want to complain too much, but as like an artist in the underground, basically, like, shit is hard. And when like 10 people show up to your show, it's really a bummer.
Yeah.
Especially if you like feel like you're putting in genuine work. And of course, in a place like Billings, it's kind of hard too. Like, people would rather stay home with their families and stuff like that, which is cool, but it makes it hard if you're trying to get people out.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Kirk's is trying to establish, a culture of live music.
Right.
I left here because there was no art for me at the age of 17.
Right.
In 1988, I left Billings. And I moved to California, and instantly I just got involved in the San Diego music scene. Like, you know, just going to shows multiple nights a week, working at a Tower Records, like just boom, 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 you know, and was able to see all this stuff. And I mean, you know, bands changed my life. They changed my whole perception on life. And then you start touring, and, you know, you tour the United States, and you're like, whoa, that's crazy. Then you tour other countries, and you're like, whoa, that's crazy. And, you know, touring and music has opened my whole life up to how I think. Like, if I didn't play music, I would not be what I think the world is, because it took me to places where have nothing to do with the culture that you and me live every day.
Right.
And it's a totally different culture, and that's still working.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
It's a different reality.
Yeah, it's just, and so that's really what I do at Kirk's. Like,
Right.
I'm just like, I'm going to create my own reality, because
Right.
that's all you're forcing on me is some other reality.
Yeah.
So, I mean, pretty much you can create your own reality always at any moment until you cross a certain line, and then the dominant reality is going to come in, step in, take away your freedoms, whatever they're going to do.
Sure.
But for the most part, like, I was really influenced by this book by Hakeem Bey called The Temporary Autonomous Zone, the Taz. And it just talks about, like, the only real freedom, since the map is closed, is to create entities that exist. So if you know
As
about
an
this,
umbrella for that, I don't.
it's a temporary autonomous zone. It's fleeting. It doesn't need to last. Like when I open Kirk's, if Kirk's closes now, I won't be bummed. I'll be like, Kirk's closed.
Right.
I've been in a ton
In
of
some
bands.
sense, you've expected it too, right?
Yeah,
Eventually the dominant culture.
But it's in a way, it's like, I mean, because once Kirk closes, all it does is I start another band and I go on tour all the time, or
you
I
do some other shit.
Yeah, it's just like you fight the system from whatever angle you can,
Right.
or system, reality, whatever,
Yeah.
It's so easy not to. It's so easy to play the game that most people play, but it's so easy not to. It's so easy to just turn it down and say, no, that's not reality, Things like COVID-19 to me are a reality, you know, like, I believe you, me, all of us sitting in this room, we could get ill, This is a risk we take, just like every time I've slept with someone unprotected,
Or gotten into a car, too.
Yeah, gotten into a car, anything, It's just like, it's a risk you take, and everything is risk, and I'm pretty risky.
Right. Right.
But I took this really seriously. I didn't see anybody for weeks. I was very like, woo.
Yeah.
I talked to some friends in Italy early on, and they really got me convinced to just shut down.
Yeah, I have an uncle in Italy.
Oh, I remember seeing that.
Yeah. About it, I wanted to cut in because you talked about how when you were here, like when you were 17, there wasn't really shit going on.
Yeah.
And that's definitely continued like 20 years later or whatever.
Yeah.
When I was coming up as a teenager. There's no real place for like young bands to play.
That's why when I moved here, I was like, Smiling Dog, hell yeah.
Dude.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, live music 3 nights a week. I was coming
All
off tour
ages?
doing 200 shows a night, and I could still see live music. I wasn't playing, but I was like, it wasn't a wasteland.
You can go get it. Yeah, right.
It was great. So Billings has a great art and music scene. Some players are, you included, Alex, Parker, all these guys, Ty, so proficient. There's so many proficient players here.
But we just need places, and that was like a basic thing, and why I'm so thankful for the work that you do too, having just like a space for that. Because like I said, we came up, there's nowhere. Like if you were in a band, you have to play a bar, but if you were underage, that's kind of like a no-go.
Your friends will eat there. Yeah.
Exactly. So we ended up just throwing our own fucking shows in the garage at our buddy Julius's house, where his mom was
I met
like,
Julius. Yeah, I know her too. I met her too.
Maggie. Yeah,
I know Maggie.
Where
She's
it's
great.
cool and you could do that. And she would like help us deal with the cops if they showed up.
Yeah, so I grew up on 26th and Lewis right up here.
Yeah.
And there was local bands, Fight for Life. This guy Greg Williams, who's from Billings here. We grew up in Utah, moved here.
Yeah.
But he makes Greed Tone amps now in Seattle, which like Queens of the Stone Age playing all this.
Oh.
This is like Billings history. This guy who moved here, turned me on to like Septic Death, all these intense, Christ on Parade, all these great early punk rock bands. He comes from Utah. He's just this great guy, and he's still continued with music in this capacity. He makes these really high-end amps and pedals and stuff. But it's still just small. It's him and, a couple friends, and I think his girlfriend, and, they're just making, I don't know. You create realities. I don't know what we're talking about.
Huh. Well, I was just trying to talk about how, like this thing, I'd never heard that term about temporary autonomous zones, but that's pretty much what I've tried to do in my life, too, is establish those.
Because you can't become too attached, because if you really want it to be carefree and freedom, if you really want freedom within the structure we live in, the only way you can do it anymore is temporarily. And you have to move on. And I've totally just, I'm fine with it. Like, I'm like, I was married, I raised a child, I have a wonderful daughter, and I had a whole career, and I just like quit it, got a divorce, changed my life, did all this shit. And, it's just, it's all fake.
Yeah.
It's all fake news.
Right. It's all fake news.
Everything's
except what comes from inside your mind.
And so, what was your experience coming back to Billings? Like, it was
Completely positive.
Yeah, completely positive.
Completely positive.
And
There's things I miss. I miss really good tacos. I miss. There is good tacos. Don't get me wrong, but it's not California.
What's your favorite taco place here?
Here? Well, I love Latinga. I love her. She's just wonderful, and her food is great, and it's very. But I eat at Sarah's a lot. My friends
Sarah's
Joan
good.
and Jane love to go to Sarah's. These are probably. I work and I live near downtown, so I walk. I'm a walker, and so those are real easy places on my. But I've been to other ones, I guess. Guadalajara, Rio Sabinas. What do you like?
Nice. Latinga's my favorite.
Latinga's a shit.
Yeah.
She's rad.
Yeah.
Order from Latinga. Support that local business.
Yeah, that's one thing we've been doing on our live streams at Kirk's is I've been buying local dinners at night for the people.
And then advertising it?
I'm just talking about it a little bit. We've done Le Fournil, we're going to get Parasol just opens next week, or this week, whatever, coming up.
Cool.
And so we're going to get a Parasol on Friday. We've gotten Thirsty Street beers, these are all small businesses that are my friends. And, I love downtown culture. I love cities. I lived in Portland, LA, San Diego. I like walking around and things are happening. And Billings has that on what it is, For me, Billings is a ton better than in the 80s. But, I'm sure you all see it through I left for 30 years.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's definitely better these days, and it's been nice with Julia Louise-Dreyfus, like having
that's amazing.
that as a fucking thing, where we get to kind of bring together all the freaks around here and be like, okay, everybody, come out of your bedroom, like, time to hang out. And then people start talking, and it's like, oh, we can talk about things, and maybe we'll, like, collaborate sometime. And then we have, like, a community here, which it seems to me that Billings is, like, a town that exists pretty much for industry, and so much like a lot of places in the West, but it lacks culture, and it feels like we can kind of build that by coming together and like seeing what we have in common, and that's kind of the point of everything I do and that we do, I think, is just to like get you in this room. And
for me, what I think is great about Billings, and I think you can actually take Billings over. Like, I mean, I think as I'm talking about creating my own reality, it's 100,000 people, It doesn't have a lot going on in a lot of ways. It has a lot going on in many other ways.
But there's big gap somewhere.
There's big gap. And what Kirk's Grocery and what I as a person strive to do is to just change it.
Yeah.
Just to say, there isn't anywhere for bands to play 4 nights a week. Yes, there is.
Actually, there is.
There's no place for Josh Paulson to show his crazy drawings anywhere. Actually, I'll show your drawings and we'll sell them to all your friends because your friends love your art, Josh.
Yeah.
And, it's like... And the more you do that, and the more you do that, and if you reach out to every community, there's so many different groups of artists here. We have Poetry Jam. We have karaoke, regardless if you think it's an art form, like it's people letting themselves be free. Right. And, it's so rare that people just let themselves be free on any level for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That I love karaoke because people just believe they are other people.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing.
For sure. I love karaoke.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And all these great things. And that's, I miss seeing all these people, the Chamber Goo movie nights. I never watch movies. I didn't grow up watching TV. I've learned to like sit down with people and watch things and not like move around. And it's Chamber Goo is. I can sit there for 6 hours and watch 3 horrible B movies from the 50s, but it's kind of like mystery science theater where like there's teenagers and people in their 20s and 30s, making fun of the show, and and it's been really fun, all the different things that Kirk's has, and I miss all those people. I miss Ty. I miss you walking in. It's great to see Becca. And Billings has really a great community culture. The first thing I know about Richard Dreyfus was my friend Malarkey, who booked me all the time in Arizona at the Trunk Space, which Kirk's is modeled on many different places from touring. Yeah. And the Trunk Space, which is a nonprofit.
I've played there, yeah.
It's wonderful. And that's where I met Malarkey. And they were always like, It's up in Billings. I was like, there ain't no music fest in Billings, bro. I'm from there. And like in my mind, I'm like, I never talked to anybody in
Billings. Oh, he told you
Billings.
about it from there, and you didn't know.
I know. I was at Trunk Space, and I was like, I don't know. And and then Malarkey came through here every 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
That's great. Yeah, he's a sweet man for sure.
Right.
Yeah, so it was cool to know that about Billings because I'm like, I knew Sean did his thing down at the pub station.
Right.
I mean, the great thing about Kirk's is we're a lot of things. We're a community center.
Yeah.
So, we went from being, one thing to another thing. I'm looking at buying mics to just start a recording studio, something similar to this, have it set up. You can just show
It'd be
up.
cool to do a
boom.
podcast zone there if
Yeah.
kids can show up and record a podcast or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I want to keep Kirk's to like 5 people. Like you can come in. I mean, it's
right,
but it's just a lot. Excuse me, I'm gonna cough.
You can
ran out earlier, caught the COVID.
It's okay. I think we're about ready to wrap this segment up, and then we're gonna have Chad Zigweid come on.
Woo!
And then do we have some?
Yeah, some questions.
Okay, let's take questions.
Yeah, we have a question here. Does Shane believe in ghosts?
Does Shane believe in ghosts?
I believe in energy. I believe that you can move energy and that everything that exists is a form of energy. So I think there's traces of energy. I don't know, what that means, but I don't really care. I live in the here and now, and I don't question a lot of it. But if I saw a ghost, I'd be like, it's a damn ghost. Cool.
Yeah.
That's a damn ghost. Look at that ghost right there.
That's a goddamn.
Somebody said that ghosts are just an echo of something that existed, and I thought that was cool. In that sense, I believe in ghosts, and even if you loosen it up, like we all have ghosts. Like if you have an ex in your head that isn't in your life, but is in your head, they're kind of a ghost. They're there, but they're not there.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, just fucking spooking you out all the time.
Spooking you out every day. We got more
I
questions.
was gonna say it's because I killed my ex. Look at this.
All right, got some.
I worked at the Yellowstone Art Museum, which I'm wearing 2 products from the Yam. And it's supposed to be haunted, and I was in there alone all the time. And I never really had any creepy moments except you'd walk into a room and it would be like you'd just get really cold and you'd feel just cold.
That sounds creepy.
And you're like, I'm gonna get out of here. The basement's so creepy. It's the old prison and they hung a person there. And it's a creepy building. And I was in there alone all the time. Any other questions?
Yeah. Do we have more questions?
So what's your shirt say?
250th celebration.
Trying to read it upside down.
Underhill, Vermont. 1763. I don't know what it
Good job,
means.
Phil.
This is Ellie's shirt. I just took it because I needed a clean shirt.
This dude knows how to read too. That's
I
kind
can read upside down.
He learned through Waste Division.
Yeah, dude. Waste
We have a whole reading program we're putting on. It's a Kirk's Grocery and Waste Division. Come down, we'll get you a free book.
Kids, is there more? Is that it? So we have 2. That's not bad for a start, dude.
Hey, thanks for hanging out. Thanks so much for the invite.
Yeah, dude.
Phil, I really appreciate
Thank you
it.
for being here.
Yeah, thanks for creating a reality here in Billings that I wanted to come back and stay at.
We'll do
You
it
as
together.
well.
Of course.
All you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. So Shane, will you hang out with us later? Where you're just gonna sit around and bullshit with
Yeah, I'll hang out.
and Chad and stuff. So after Chad plays, we'll all bullshit. Keep submitting comments and questions if you want, and we'll answer them later.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, let me give one last just plug for Kirk.
Yeah, plug it. I was gonna ask for it.
Every Friday we're doing live streams from Kirk's. Everything from studio visits. We're gonna have a dog's pup-iversary in a couple weeks. It's gonna be super fun stuff. A lot of stuff's gonna be happening on the street in Minnesota. We're gonna be live streaming it. And that's every Friday at 7. And this Thursday at 7, Wes Urbaniak and Anna Page are doing Poetry Jam at 7. They'll be live streaming from
On Facebook.
Kirk's. Facebook, yeah, it's whatever Anna's going to do. I don't really have anything to do with it.
Oh,
so.
I think it's Facebook Live, and then does she use your page though? Kurt?
She could. I don't think we did last time. I don't know what we did.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't really got any into the technical aspect of live streaming. I've
Well,
got to
go-
be on this side of the camera.
Go look at Kurt's page and then see what's up.
Okay.
Thanks, Shane.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna take a break for a few minutes and get adjusted for Chad, and then we'll be back.
Stick around.
Oh, is it?
Lights out. Get the vapor. Lights out. Get the vapor.
It's been a long week without seeing you. This week was hard, but in my heart the whole time I knew. And I just wanted to say that I appreciate you. I don't know what it is that you do, but you do something to my so that I get happy to my energy, so that I get
All right, guys. Thanks for watching so far. If you've stuck around, you're now going to see Chad Zigweid play of Bill Moved Away, accompanied by Ty Herman, also in Bill Moved Away. So if you guys have any questions, please ask them on the chat box on the side here, and we'll get to you every 2 or 3 songs and take some breaks. So, fellas, take it away.
Thanks. Yeah.
I'm a wine, I'm switched on. Twist me high, feed me down. I'm a wine, hey. Cut me under, slice me sideways. I am a racehorse, won't be outrun. Every mile I've been chased. Now that's a gold one, every word earned. Somewhere the endings come on We are men, we are pride. We are pride. I'm a wife, not set in stone. Death behind our stone home. I'm a wife, yeah. I'll take you home and lay you down. I hate to leave you always right when we're done. I could use you too, 'cause love is fleeting. Could hang on a while, I could hang on. I could hang on. I could hang on. I could hang on. I'm alright. I'm set strong. Thanks. Oh, yeah. I'd like to do a shout out to Michelle Bradison, who actually helped me write lyrics on that. And I don't know if she's ever heard it, but Michelle, you helped with that one.
Thanks, Michelle.
Vast landscapes freeze eyes wide open, so pours out like chimney smoke on winter's nights, so sad and lost forms of tiny hairs in your nose and in between your toes, twisting in the blankets as your thoughts turn round the room. The room. you're breathing. Thanks. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we got one more here, and then we're taking some questions. So thank you.
Let me tune up real quick.
Chad's gonna tune his guitar.
The good old tune song.
This is my best song.
Shout out to
Hey,
Stark.
you're doing yourself a disservice saying that the tune song is your best one.
I tune well, though.
You do tune well. I mean,
I haven't seen someone tune like that in a long time.
It's amazing.
he's a prodigy.
This is tuning.
Sorry. There we go. Sit on the steps, stare across the yard, and I'm tired. Searching for palindromes, came up empty, and I'm sore. Got nowhere I'm going to, got no one to talk about loneliness. Somewhere I guess it's someone who knows where I'm going. For some life savings, lose dignity while I lie naked. Someone want me again. Oh, sunlight burns brighter. It's being afraid. Said ghosts break dance around me. So I'm set. Guess I needed the most. As if I was a star, I'd burn hotter and brighter. If I was a star, it wouldn't be so far away. For some life savings, lose dignity while I lie naked. Someone want me again. Oh, sunlight burns brighter. It's like being afraid.
All right, we're back, guys.
So you got some questions?
We actually don't have any questions, but Chad, I have a question.
Okay. Shoot.
So you're in Bill Moved Away.
Yes.
Half of the band is present currently. Is that right?
Can you
Like,
repeat after Jordan?
3/4 of the band is currently in the room.
3/4 of the band.
Is in the room. Yes.
Okay. Who is the fourth member who's missing?
So Maddie Alpert normally sings with us. Shane, who you heard in the first section, usually plays drums for us, and then Ty plays guitar sometimes.
Let's play a delay pedal.
Delay pedal. Ty plays the delay
Craft
pedal.
foods.
Also,
Changes reality.
I just wanted to compliment your color coordination today. For people on the camera can't see, but the hat and the shoes are perfectly matching.
They're matching.
Oh.
Favorite color.
Oh,
so
you're
someone asked that
styling.
later. What's my favorite color? And I could say purple, and that'd be easy. Easy answer. Yeah. So
Nice.
if someone could ask that, that would help me out.
What's your favorite team?
So somebody ask
Favorite
it
team?
right now.
Lakers.
No.
Is it purple?
They're purple. They are purple.
But it's not.
No, I don't follow such a winning team in basketball.
Who is your team?
In basketball, I follow the Timberwolves. Basically, take whatever the Minnesota team is, and that is my team.
Did you say Minnesota?
Minnesota. Yeah.
Minnesota.
Minnesota?
I overdid it for you. Yeah, as is proper. Don't you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you guys sound really good.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Maybe we, you guys want to keep going and let's get a big batch of questions in this next
Yeah.
pause?
That sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this just gonna? Oh, that's.
Yeah, it's just gonna be me. Ty's leaving me all alone.
Oh man,
You can do it.
I can do it. I believe in me.
you're on your own now.
If there is a heaven and you meet Janet Rankin, tell her the world is still on fire. And her light still burns bright. We will stand, we will fight. And if there is a heaven and you meet Janet Rankin, tell her the world is still on fire. And the light still burns bright. We will stand, we will fight. La 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 la, la 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 la. these by myself, so we'll see how this one sounds. This one's going to be a little more aggressive than you would usually play by yourself. She bleeds like the rest of us in the face of cannonball. She cries, maybe someday she'll be human. She fought at their command, no longer one of them, their slave. Maybe someday she'll be their destroyer. Gathered round the wanderers in dreams, might take little leap of pride or faith, a restless mind for still believing. I'm so tired, I'd rather be alone and chase away the cheer makers and make my presence gone from all the Mondays. Shaky hands don't make a man, they make a drink to stand up with courage and conviction. Our flesh falls off of us, it's no wonder I cannot trust in fate, fictional monsters. Raised our hands and prayed for rain to quench our thirst and to bleed our purse and to sing in some revival.
Yes.
Thanks. I've got one more in this set that Michelle Bradison helped me write. Sorry. Sparks on the steel cage of a lion's den. Fall on your face and you know spiral on out of the sunset I still away for a while. 'Cause our stars got our wires tied, tied, tied. Baby, what did you steal out of paradise? Baby, sing that song to me. The moment I caught a little piece of paradise, it haunted me like the feeling this soul called faith healing. Every time that I try, little piece of me dies. Every time I just fall to pieces and lie. Every time that I love you, it can never be enough. Every time I just fall to pieces from the trial. You on the shore, lead my people. Spiral on down like a fool. And I'll be around. I'm like angels falling to pieces, far from true.
have a guest vocalist,
Yeah, we have a guest vocalist.
Jag over here. Give it up for Jag.
Jag, yeah.
Here. Jack, come on.
Yeah, and the dog won't go.
That's Jag. Ladies and gentlemen, Jag. Jag Kreider.
All right.
Oh boy. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. Malia Malloy.
Malia Malloy.
Nailed
Malia
it.
Malloy.
So I just wanted to give them credit where credit's due. So we have a question here. Who is Bill and where did he move?
So Bill was a friend of mine. We initially started a band that was a two-piece called Chad's Friend Bill. And Bill moved back to Madison, Wisconsin. He escaped. And so right at that time, Tyson was starting to play with me and Maddie. And so we kept going. And eventually ended up with Shane drumming. But we decided the simplest band name replacement for Chad's Friend Bill was Bill Moved Away, because that's what happened. We're very literal with our names.
I thought that was a great name.
I enjoy it. I like it.
That's the best name change I've heard.
Usually it's the easiest ones that are the best.
The winners.
Mm-hmm.
Chad, are you a Vikings fan?
I am a Vikings fan.
So anything Minnesota is
And
your,
yeah,
is your
Timberwolves,
jam.
Twins. Twins were like the first team I follow. Then Minnesota, Vikings, and Timberwolves. So I got to run the gambit of successful teams there.
You're just getting some grief. Being the Bears are apparently superior to the Vikings, according to this chat box.
The Bears?
The Bears?
The Bears.
The Bears.
The
They do
Chicago
have a
Bears.
Super Bowl, and the Vikings don't.
Do they
The
have
Vikings are
like a
the-
rivalry though?
the-
or is that
well, they're in
just
the same
a Bears
division.
fan?
This
Same
is just
division.
a Bears fan. Yeah.
Same division.
Okay.
Just a Bears fan. You know how Bears fans are.
I-
You know
yeah,
Bears
the
fans
Bears.
are.
Stupid Bears. Just kidding. I'm a 49ers fan, so
I
that's,
also was a 49ers fan a long time ago.
It's a sad life.
Chad, that's actually pretty much it for questions. But
Nice.
do you remember the last show that you went to before everything became absolutely fucked?
Oh, that's a good question for
I-
like everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember. I
Was
don't
just
know.
blackout.
Yeah, I'm blacking out. I've been blackout so many different drugs and
I'm coming
alcohol
off
since
a
this whole
bender right
thing.
now. I don't.
2-month bender. This is the first time I am actually aware of.
Where am I?
Yeah. I think my children are watching this. Yeah, I don't remember. I remember, is it 38, 36 question, 30 question mark?
Was it
36.
something at Kirk's?
Yeah, probably at Kirk's. Kirk's is where I've mostly been seeing shows, because Kirk's has awesome shows, and if you don't go to Kirk's, you're missing out on awesome shows. Like,
We've been having a ton the last couple months.
yeah, if you-
Unattended, guys.
yeah, unattended. If you complain about there not ever being good music in Billings, you need to go to Kirk's.
Shout out to Kirk's.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah.
I think that about does it, Chad. You want to
Nice.
place a couple more? And
Yeah, I'll play 2 more. This is one of those that may or may not work. I haven't tried it without a band, so I don't know.
let's give it a whirl.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Here, let's see if. She's got a shirt that looks like your boyfriend's. She doesn't know him. Push it down. Push it down. Says that you're crazy when you ask him about her, but he seems so guilty. Push it down. push it down, push it down, push it down. He buys you flowers, takes you to dinner for no goddamn reason. Push it down, push it down. And it's no surprise when you see them together and you see him kiss her. Push it down, 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 push it down. Says he still loves you when you walk away, and push it down, push it down, push it down, push it down. All right, one last one. Thanks for tuning in. Bluebird sang from his tree, sat down right next to me. His song was sad, or so it seems. I wish his song would comfort me. We try to bring out the best in each other. Time can bring out the worst, but most days we try and stay and be a little better to each other. Stay too long, this time I'm the villain. She wanted to write songs like Bob Dylan. Four lines, strummed her guitar for 5 hours or more. Only wrote these 4 lines. Bluebird sang from his tree, sat down right next to me. His song was sad, or so it seemed. I wish his song would comfort me, comfort me. And we fall down. We fall down. And we fall down. We Thanks.
Nice,
Thanks for
man.
listening in.
Thank you, Chad.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are going to transition, so thank you once again, Chad, for playing. We're going to have all of us hang out for a bit here, so please stick around. If you still have any questions or comments, you can definitely put those in the chat box, and we will get to you. So hold on for just a minute or two, and we'll be right back.
All right.
Never got it rose tonight. Don't know why it didn't work. If I knew, then I'd fix it. Just thought you were my number one. I did. Really, truly thought we had a connection. Don't know anymore after this, because I never seem to be anybody's number one. I never seem to be anybody's number one.
been a long week without seeing you. This week was hard, but in my heart the whole time I knew. And I just wanted to say that I appreciate you. I don't know what it is that you do, but you do something to my energy so that I get happy. To my energy so that I get happy. So hard to wait, so hard to wait for you. I'm okay with being patient, I just wanna know that you are too. The more I get to see you, the more I have to lose. Don't think I could live without that thing that you do to my energy so that I get happy. To my energy so that I get happy. I've been so tired this week, I'm not gonna mess around no more. I hope that it's as real as it seems. I hope it's real and I hope it lasts forever. I'm so excited and glad we're finally here. When I think of all the times I've been with you, it is so clear what you do to my energy so that I get happy. To my energy so that I get
Kid,
Hey,
is
COVID
back.
kid, get done, got did.
Yeah.
I am unmuting now.
Okay.
Everyone
Yo.
can hear you.
Okay.
You can hear us.
Yeah.
Now everyone can see you.
Whoa.
How do our voices sound with the masks on?
They sound fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So you can wear a mask and you can do normal shit.
What?
Yeah, somewhat.
No, dude.
You know.
Well, not good glasses.
Not
Fog
yet.
on my glasses.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, you get foggy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Jordan.
They'll
You
fog
look
right.
like an anime character a little bit.
Do I?
Yeah.
Jordan.
Like
Jordan.
mysterious one
What's
with a
that supposed
sword
to
drawn.
mean,
Like, oh shucks. Canceled.
Jordan is Japanese.
I love how your
Cancel.
beard
That's
sticks out
fucked
the
up.
bottom.
Is that cool?
So cute.
Yeah.
It's not PC.
Should I tuck it in there?
Decidedly
Market,
not.
So, do we have any shit to
some
talk
face
about from the
masks
internet?
that have beards attached to
From the interwebs?
yeah.
Eric keeps asking us questions.
Eric
it.
is.
But, like, more
Eric
stuff.
wants to know Chicago or New York style pizza.
All right, one at a time, folks.
New York, obviously.
Oh, obviously, huh?
What about New York?
I'll take New York style
He's saying
pizza,
New-
though. I have loved some Chicago
Jordan's
pizzas.
out.
New York is a deeper dish, right?
Oh.
Or Chicago?
No,
Chicago's deep dish.
Okay, I will say that like Chicago pizza, it's too much, man. It's like eating a loaf of bread
It's nap
with,
time.
with
cheese.
sauce and cheese.
I love nap, so it works out perfect.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know, like
Yeah.
I don't mind like a deep dish crust, but like Chicago pizza is a whole other level
it's
of
an event.
ridiculous.
It's an event.
I like how sometimes like you get them, it's all crusty, and the cheese kind of comes up on the side out of it.
Yeah, that's
like a
good.
crown,
Okay, yeah.
a little crown of cheese on the top.
That edge
Burnt.
Yeah.
So,
what's
wait,
the
wait, wait.
Parmesan chips.
I
Parmesan chips?
I want to focus the discussion a little more. Eric, your
Brandon.
questions suck ass.
Which Eric? Eric too.
And also, I have some compatriots who don't know how to talk one at a time, so maybe we could figure that out. But I was wondering, Chad,
Yeah.
what is your main influence, or some of them?
Some of it, like as far as what I'm pretty diverse in what I like to listen to, but as
Yeah.
far as like what I probably sound closest to from listening to is like Low and Pedro the Lion and Radiohead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Radiohead is a big one. I hear.
Radiohead's big, yep, and Low is really big. If you go back and listen to like Low or Pedro the
Oh.
Lion's early stuff,
Yeah.
you'll hear a lot of that
Cool.
simple chord structures, simple, yeah.
Word. I just started getting back into Radiohead. Listened to Amnesiac
Love it.
and Kid A
Love Kid.
and In Rainbows.
Love it.
And that fucking band, I forgot how good they are.
Amazing.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Radiohead album?
Probably In Rainbows.
Yeah.
I've been listening to the Moonshaped Pool a lot lately.
I need to get into that one.
I-
Yeah, we were
It's
just
harder, but it's pretty. There's a lot of heartbreak in that one.
Oh.
You know, whereas In Rainbows is easier. I don't know.
So I recently yelled at Jordan for not listening to disc 2 of In Rainbows because I was
Oh.
like,
It's really good.
it's really good.
Really good.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah,
I don't know
the
it.
song "Go Slowly." I played it, and I was like, "Do you know what this is?" And he was like,
Nice.
Also, From the Basement. Have you watched
Yes.
that on
Oh.
YouTube? That
For In
well,
Rainbows?
In Rainbows and King of Limbs.
Yeah.
If King of Limbs, I think would have done better if it sounded closer to the.
Oh. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I struggled with that album.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the basement sessions are dope. I was going back to those too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys seen Radiohead?
Nope.
Have you?
No.
I've seen Radiohead at the Gorge.
Oh.
Nice.
Pretty awesome. It was the first time I did MDMA. It was great.
MDMA is cool.
So it's a perfect view over the water and everything out there. It was for Kid A. Yeah. It was great. And then
When?
they did the Saturday Night Live performance like a week later where they did national anthem.
Oh. It was a Kid A tour.
Yeah.
Oh.
Kid A tour.
That's
It was
tight.
great. First time I'd actually listened to him, I actually had blown him off my whole life. I just thought they were a pop band.
How'd you end up at their concert?
Because my friend who knows I
Was
love
into it?
music said, you have to go see this band.
Nice.
So I went, and then I was like, I love this band.
Yeah.
It was great. Right on.
Super good.
Gorge is cool. You've seen concerts at the Gorge ever?
Yes. 1 or 2?
Wait, where's that again? Where's
The Gorge in Washington.
Okay.
I think I saw Arcade Fire.
That's right.
And then I also went earlier a couple years. This was like a few years ago. I saw fucking Arcade Fire. And then a couple years before that, I saw Dave Matthews Band Caravan Festival thing, where like Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros were there.
Cool.
And I think
I'd like to see them live. That's probably cool.
oh, who was the band who did
Yeah,
the
they're broken.
They're what?
They're broken up now.
for Little Miss Sunshine?
Little Miss Sunshine? Devotchka?
Devotchka was there.
Devotchka.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
wow.
was cool.
Oh.
Yeah, but gorgeous, tight.
Yeah, it's a great venue to see music.
I was curious about your influences, Shane. Just like in general, do you have any that you can look at like that,
Yeah, there's bands I love. I mean, there's early things that influence you.
or just general artists too about how they do?
Yeah, I mean, I get influenced by books a lot. I mean, a lot of my stuff, even though it's real conceptual. I like conceptual art, so like a lot of, Hakeem Bey, I mentioned earlier, was a super influential writer. And he just wrote this Temporary Autonomous Zone. He wrote things about cop culture, like just like even watching cop shows, how that programs us to be more part of cop culture. So I stopped watching anything that had to do with cops.
Even though they're really good.
I don't watch TV anyway, so it wasn't hard.
Well, I say that because I was in LA with my friend who's a public defendant, and he's really into watching
Live PD.
Live PD. It's a new cop show, and it's really interesting to watch it with a public defendant because they're like, yeah, like, do you see how the cop is pulling this guy over for like a minor traffic infraction? And then they end up like popping him for drug things.
Oh wow!
And it's just like interesting to see him because he'd be like, well, if I was trying this case, like based on what we've seen, this cop is not really operating legally.
Procedure,
yeah, but it still goes in the shows somehow. And it is a question of
Because
like,
we eat it up.
well, and maybe you don't
Sounds
see
commercial.
some parts too, but yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, for music, I mean, recently, in the last decade, though, I've listened to Mark Kozelik for years. He was in a band called the Red House Painters, which I loved. I'm sure Chad loves them.
Sun Kill Moon.
Sun Kill Moon.
Sun Kill Moon.
Mm.
And he had a really successful album in like 2014 that was called Benji, and it's just a killer album. And since then, he's kind of done these real diary, ramble, all sorts of styles of music. 5, 6, 7 albums already since like 2014. And he just pretty much goes from a diary and they're long form storytelling and they're really personal. So I've always been a personal writer of lyrics, from like Loving the Mountain Goats and Smog and bands like that. So Sun Kill Moon and Mark Kozelik has really even reached me to talk about even more mundane things. And I mean, you know, and just even, you know, how there's beauty in every moment.
Yeah.
Like, you know. So.
I was just talking to somebody about, we were actually talking about country songs and nostalgia and how, oh fuck, I missed it.
That's okay.
You were talking.
Get nostalgic about it. You might remember.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
He does a really good job on that. What's the one about the school shootings?
Oh yeah, Newtown.
Newtown. Yeah, just
that
like,
song makes me cry every time.
Yeah, dude, it's so powerful. He just like goes back to like every time he hears like another school shooting. I remember where I was. Like I was playing a show in Japan, and it came on the TV, and
that's on multiple albums now. You know, so he has like Newtown's kind of the first one where he talks about school shootings. And on virtually every album since then, he'll bring it up. He'll talk about the new one. He'll talk about, you know, he got letters from people that talked about Newtown, and he'll bring how he got, you know. So he's really having these conversations with himself, and he kind of freed himself from pop music after playing pop music for 30 years, 25 years. Being on Sub Pop in the 90s, you know, being on Beggar's Banquet and all these great labels in the 90s. And that's been real influential to just, I like mundane lyrics, you know, I like talking about boring things, you and me talking. I like talking about you and me talking.
Oh, okay, so I remember what the fuck I was talking about. In country songs, they're like, I think part of what people don't like about them is that they're like drippingly romantic. And like this idea of like lifting mundane things to like a divine status or like an artistic or beautiful or sublime thing. I think that's a really cool idea, and it's something that helps us be like more mindful with each moment too. Like if you're looking out for beauty all the time, then you can like see it better when it happens.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And it seems like any moment is like unique enough that it calls for that too, which is cool.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can talk about any moment. I can talk about, like noticing your tattoo. I could write a song about you.
Sure,
your tattoo.
right. Any little thing.
So, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Becca, our friend, is here with us.
Woo! Thanks for having me.
Becca just got back a bit ago from like a yogic retreat in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
And to me, it seems like there's some mindfulness stuff happening there.
Oh, for sure.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah. The program is a 3-month-long karma yoga program at an ashram in the Bahamas. The karma yoga concept is just like acts of service without expecting anything in return. So I was like working normal shifts like at a boutique as my karma duty. And then we wake up at 6 a.m. and do like 2 hours of chanting and like prayer and meditation. And then same thing at the nighttime. So twice a day. And so all of that was just around this like ideology of moving without really expecting things, because a lot of times in our lives we do something nice for somebody because we want like maybe think we'll get something back in return, even in really like subtle ways of like, oh, I'm doing this because I'll get paid better, or oh, I'm doing this because
this person will like me more.
Yeah, exactly. Like it gets me reputation, or literally I'm just like looking better at these people. But ultimately it's just like alleviating karmic debt and lessening the toll of like having to like go back through any amount of suffering you've maybe induced in your life or caused. And I think in a lot of those ways it just teaches you how to be a little more present.
Yeah.
Of like, if there's not like an end goal to any of this, like you just do. You sit down and like every single moment can have those like beautiful things that you just mentioned. It's like a lot simpler.
Right.
Yeah.
It seems hard like nowadays to take a minute to appreciate little stuff. And I wonder a lot about like how similar artists and monks are kind of. In the sense that like, and it's different. Because artists often like go in and out of like the depravity of like the world, and then they step away and try to like process it on their own. Yeah. Whereas like monks or whatever like pretty much just make the full decision to like go away. But there's still like a mindfulness thing that happens with art, and I've been noticing that lately. For a long time, like I've known that I needed to pick up a meditation practice, but I've also found like similar attributes in playing music live, which is something I'm missing now.
Yeah.
So because when I'm playing live, like you have to be really present, like listening as open as I can to hear where everybody's at and make sure I'm not like fucking it up.
Yeah.
And it does feel like a fucking, a show is like a 2-hour meditation sometimes.
Super
or like
cool.
a half-hour meditation if I'm with my punk band.
Yeah.
But
it's almost like the flow state kind of.
Yeah, that's it.
Really go hand in hand with meditation of just like dropping into this place where it's like you channel something that's like just comes out of you.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like getting out of the way too, like getting your ego out of the way so that you can channel that. But I don't know, there's definitely a difference too. Like artists are usually like into drugs and into the worldly stuff, while monks fully reject that.
Sure, yeah.
Or some monks, I'm sure there's some that don't.
Some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think even like if you look at certain Buddhist monks, they make them big mandalas out of tiny beads and then they fucking like swipe it away after. I think that's one of those. Like for me, it's oddly on a pedestal of just like that is the epitome of maybe what we're all trying to do, of just making something and like non-attachment to it.
Well, it's like what Shane was talking about earlier about like temporary autonomous zones, like recognizing that it's not permanent and nothing's permanent, but you still build it anyway.
Yeah.
And then just like when it's
because it exists while it exists,
right?
And there's beauty in that.
Sure. Well, and there's weird shit there. Like the present moment reaches out. to other things, so that even if a present moment goes away, like if you establish that kind of zone at one time, it might reverberate to create other ones in the future. Not that you're concerned with that, like that's the whole point, is that you just like create something for the moment, but it is weird because you get into like time loops that way.
Yeah.
Where like the present moment isn't just the present moment, it's like everything, it's like all time ever. And how everything gets channeled right into that focal point. I think that's cool.
Yeah, way cool.
Jordan, do we have any questions?
No, they don't like us.
I don't like
There's
it.
nothing. I have more Eric questions. You want more Eric?
Yeah, Eric.
Eric questions
Are you
are
sure?
fine.
He's asking who your favorite author.
Yeah, I want to hear about Chad's favorite author for sure.
Mine's probably Haruki Murakami.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
And yeah. I
Book?
really like him. I get torn between Wind Up Bird Chronicle, 1Q84, and Kafka on the Shore. Those three are hard to... I like his other stuff, but those three are hard to pick a favorite.
Was IQ84 is not too long?
I didn't think so,
Okay, good.
but I
It's
really
long.
like his writing. Like, I feel like I get wrapped up in it, so I don't know if I'm a good judge of whether it's too long or not, but I yeah.
Well, you're wrapped in it, so.
Yeah,
that's all
I'm
that
wrapped
matters.
in it, so it flew by.
If you can write a 1,000-page novel and have it fly by, then that's a success.
Of a different culture a lot of times.
Yeah.
You're like learning about
Yeah.
different, Japanese culture and how they
Sure.
relate to each other and
Well,
all the
yeah.
hierarchies and class systems and
It's,
things you have to kind of learn just to understand a lot of the.
I love his ability to take the mundane, speaking of that, and wrap it
yeah.
in a surreal story. Like, the mundane, like, anchors it in reality for you, and so when the weird stuff starts happening, it
Still
doesn't
has
seem
roots.
that weird because it's
They really
so
don't seem weird
anchored
until you
in
try to tell
because of the
someone what the book's
mundane
about.
details and the. I feel like
Like if you, they don't seem weird until you tell someone what the book's about. You're like,
Yeah,
and
then it seems
Then there's a
weird,
big
right?
hole, and the guy goes down in the hole.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I guess that's pretty weird, but like he makes it. You're reading it, it's like, oh yeah, the guy's
It's
in the
natural.
hole.
By the time you're there, it's you're wrapped up in it.
Yeah.
Or in the well.
It's almost like our day-to-day lives are surreal,
Whoa.
Almost.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Not quite.
Dude.
Shane, who's your favorite?
I love Ursula K. Le Guin, just because I can just read her over and over again, and she's got so much stuff, and she addresses everything, the duality of sexuality. She writes great books, and metaphor of capitalism versus communism. I got to meet her once. That was really cool. I got a signed book by her. And I love her work. She's not as deep. Well, she's as deep as Murakami, but it's just a different. You can devour them a lot faster. They're a lot
Right.
shorter. You can read 2 in a day if you're not doing anything.
Right.
Nice.
I love her.
We actually did a book club for the Dispossessed.
Oh yeah,
Phil and I.
Yeah, we have a podcast, Waste Books.
Yeah.
great.
Check it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
check it.
As many plugs as
Dispossess is
possible.
dope. I love.
It's a plug.
It's a
How about you, Phil?
Oh. I'm not much of a reader
Phil
anymore.
can't read, guys.
Yeah, I don't
Let's
really.
be honest.
I don't read. School, I read so much that it made it so that I couldn't read anymore. But before that happened, I was really into David Foster Wallace.
Oh yeah, that's
It's probably like my dude.
Are you still reading
Did you
Blood
finish
Rain?
Infinite Jest?
Yes.
Wow.
It took me 2 sessions. Yeah, I read the
never
first
did.
half over 9 months and then read the second half over a few months.
Mhm.
It's
Cool.
another 1,000-pager.
Yeah. If you can make it through Infinite Jest, you can read all
Yeah.
his footnotes and everything.
For sure. His journalism is really cool too. That's something that I kind of admire and aspire to. Is like a kind of gonzo journalism that he does that's updated. Consider the Lobster is really cool essay that he has, or it's if you just Google Dave Foster Wallace county fair, he goes back home to the Midwest to write about a county fair.
Yeah, that was in Harper's. I remember.
Yeah. Did you see it?
Yeah, I read it. It's great. He wrote a great thing on applause. Have you ever seen this thing on applause?
No.
About audiences reacting, why we do applause. It's great.
Oh.
It's all about applause and how we're trained in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
culture to clap,
Yeah.
and different cultures he talks about.
Nice.
It's a great essay on applause.
Yeah.
That's always felt really weird to me, where it's almost
it reminds me of like school, like when classes, like the bell rings, like okay, the song's over, like no more sound, like I have to clap. Like if it doesn't happen, it's
We
really
clapped
awkward.
it and wanted.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, totally.
There's a meme people do when like companies are announcing like products or something like that. They're doing like a press conference, and then they say like the thing, and then they pause, and like in the comments, everyone's like, "Please clap."
Literally like a laugh track, basically.
Yeah.
Just can, like,
Jab?
stand in for that.
Is that a Jeb reference?
That's a jab reference.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
What do you like to read?
My favorite author is probably, I've read the most of F. Scott Fitzgerald, but I really like John Steinbeck. I think
Nice.
he's my favorite.
Yeah, good stuff.
I read Travels with Charlie in high school, and I wanted to be like a bag and bond, kind of just living in a van and
Nice.
You and your
having a
dog.
barbecue. Yeah, me and my pup.
Me and you're supposed to be living in a van
We're
today.
supposed to right now. Yeah,
On
we're
tour.
down by the
Supposed to be
river.
on
Yeah.
tour.
We're supposed to be on tour.
We'd be in Portland.
Our whole
right
tour, 20 shows got canceled. 10 days of recording.
How'd that feel?
now. Like
I feel like shit, but you know, whatever. Life's life. I mean, I'm not. It
Honestly-
sucks. It sucks, but you know, we made the best. We're still making a record. I
Yeah.
love playing live music. You know, you've missed how many shows since we've
Yeah.
went on this.
Right.
It sucks completely.
Yeah.
I try not to get too hung up on things. I just say,
Well, I just move on.
I just always turn right or left. I'm like, because I don't like to go head to head with things I can't change.
Right.
I just say, well, that happened. Okay, you know.
Right.
Otherwise, because some people, we can over process it and talk it, and I'm like, at the end of the day, we're still not going on tour.
Right.
So
Just
It's-
get past it and move on.
yeah, take a turn and figure out what you're gonna do the next.
Because you
time.
guys were going on tour to record in Portland,
Yep.
but you've been able to do that remotely, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the process. Yeah.
Yeah. So
What is today? The 19th?
no?
17th.
It's
yeah,
the 17th.
So we were supposed to be recording from the 11th. We had booked studio time from the 11th to the 21st in Portland.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, so today we'd be probably doing vocals or something.
Right.
Well, in time, like your whole normal income is
Yeah.
playing gigs and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure that was like a huge like, what the fuck am I gonna do?
Big time, yeah.
You know?
Luckily, like I was preparing for us to go on tour, so kind of like February and March, like I really kind of grinded and played a bunch of extra gigs, so like had that little cushion. But now it's just kind of like, hope I can. Like I'm hounding like every restaurant I used to play at like twice a week. Like, yo, are you ready to like book shows again? Like, we'll
Right.
see. I don't know. Played at a Thai restaurant yesterday to like 8 people, I think total, at the restaurant.
That's the whole audience,
Yeah.
bro.
No, it was rad though.
Yeah, that's a
People's
DIY
audience.
audience. Bro.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
That's Kurt's right there.
What if
Plus, you got better food. I'd be cooking you some drunk beans at 2 a.m.
It still tastes so good.
Yeah.
We have a question.
Oh.
Also, we're at 2 hours. Should we keep this rolling?
Oh, maybe, I don't know, 10, 15. We
Yeah.
can find a natural
15
end
minutes.
for it.
We have a question.
But wait,
What's up?
I didn't hear Becca's or your favorite authors yet. I don't think, right?
Mine is Thomas Pynchon.
Why?
Because he's super smart. I don't want to talk about Thomas Pynchon.
Yeah, you don't.
No.
Okay, Becca.
I like Tom Robbins.
Oh, yeah,
Stuff,
right.
Yeah. Really quirky storylines.
Favorite books?
Jitterbug perfumes.
Jitterbug Perfume.
Way up there.
Great
Yeah.
book.
Yeah, I still need to look at that.
Yeah. And then another roadside attraction.
Mmm,
Both are good.
nice. What's the fucking question?
What is everyone's favorite quarantine / socially distanced zone to spend time in a town?
Is this Eric's?
No, it's not.
Oh.
This is a real person. I assure you.
At my house, probably, is the best place.
No, is that the question? Like, where have we been hanging out?
Where have we been hanging out, kind of?
That's where I've been hanging
What's our
out.
favorite shit?
I ate it stacked
Outside
the
of
other day. That's
Yeah, these guys have been in a cabin, so they're not in town.
Yeah.
Chad, have you been at home a
Does
lot?
Animal Crossing count?
Nice. Hell yeah.
Quarantine didn't really change my life, it just justified my introversion.
No guilt.
People are like, oh yeah, you gotta be home, is that killing you?
No.
Doesn't
No.
feel, yeah.
It's the same.
Now nobody pressures me to go out, that's the only difference.
I went to Walmart the other day and it was fucking crazy. So I don't want to go back there, and I don't want to plug Walmart, but
Were people wearing masks?
no.
Didn't think so.
They were using megaphones and coughing on each
Yeah, dude.
Or not a meg, just like a
Big old cone. You're putting your head in this.
I decided if anyone when I'm out, Montana's interesting because, it could be like Michigan, like when I moved back here after 30 years, I've been gone a long time, I expected a lot of Trump stickers, all this stuff. You get here, it's pretty low key, whatever's going on here political, it's not usually shoved in your face. And, but I was at Albertsons the other day and, people are looking at you and your mask is like, no one's in a mask. And they're like, why are you wearing a mask? And I'm like, because it's the coolest shit and now it's cool. Like you can wear a mask all the time and no one gives a shit. Like why wouldn't you want to do that? But I decided if anyone asks me, I'm just gonna pull it down and ask them to spit in their mouth. Like, it's gonna be my first answer, just like, can I spit in your mouth? And then, we'll see what happens after that. Dates. Maybe we'll have dates. Who knows?
Yeah.
I feel like you have to make like the juiciest fart noise you can, so that like spit like comes out.
Shoots.
Too.
Yeah.
You just,
My drug dealer made a post about, or like took a picture of him with his AR and then wearing a mask and a hat and glasses looking like a bandit. And he's a progressive, like radical guy. But you could see people in like a similar outfit out in Michigan, like basically dressed for fucking terror. Jesus. And he's like just making fun of that, like, oh, this is normal now. Apparently, you can do this.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we have to establish our own reality now before they tell us you what it is. That's why, I'm just gonna start taking over the corner at Kirk's. This is just how it is now. Because they don't have any idea. The governor still doesn't even know what's going on. You ask him like phase whatever for music, and they're like,
Have you been in touch with his office for your shit?
No, I had a conversation with Anna Page. I'm opening this week, and so I kind of want to know.
Yeah.
Me and Anna Page had a conversation about, like the difference of, the phases, because she actually is calling the governor's office and asking them, daily.
As
like,
a
they're
reporter.
ignoring her for 4 days, so till they get through, and then they, So, I wanted to know what she thought about opening up, because she's actually talking to the governor or the governor's office. And, so that was interesting. I don't know why I'm talking about that, but it was good.
Yeah. Well, I was just curious about your experience as like a business owner trying to operate in this atmosphere. Is pretty weird.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it's crazy.
Well, and we've canceled Dry Fest for this year, essentially, or postponed it. It's probably not happening. Probably do some virtual version of it, really light version of it. But something that's been a bummer is like the whole point of the fest is to get like a bunch of weird people in a room together so they can finally talk and like realize that there's other people like them and that they can be friends and shit. So it seems like kind of silly to have like a virtual version of that because it doesn't really achieve the same point.
I think the exact same thing about Kirk's. The thing about Kirk's is a community center.
Right.
It's not just art galleries. It's just not performance. It's about anything that Billings shows up and wants to do. We've had book discussion groups. We've recorded bands. Like anything, you can come say, "Hey Shane, what do you want to do?" And man, I keep losing. Partying all day.
Well, it just sucks. It's something that I've been thinking a lot about.
I have a great idea. Who am I?
Something I've been thinking about is like how it's weird that we have, and it's weird because I don't want to sound like a conservative, like doubting the government and shit, but I do kind of wonder about why Walmart is open, where people are fucking don't give a shit, aren't wearing masks, touching everything. Walmart has like a 6-foot arrow on the ground. It's like, hey, please keep this much distance, but nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
So people are like shoving in. Meanwhile, like we as artists and performers like can't have a show. Like my joke has been that like Walmart or I went to Albertsons, it was crazy too. Like I just want to set up in there. Like there's enough fucking people that it feels almost like a mosh pit. Like may as well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that has been declared to be essential, and like concerts are not. And like there's a weird value system that's being cast very starkly right now that is like the current mainstream value system, which says that like, yes, Walmart is more important, even if you want to go buy like a Slinky. Apparently that's essential, so you go to Walmart. But you can't go watch a show. And literally the other night, like, I was so missing live music and loud shit that I was like, I'm gonna go out on the country roads. It was late, but I was like, fuck it, I just need some live music right now. Like, and so I went out and cranked it up. And I wonder about like how many people are missing out on that shit. Like I am, you know?
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, like I'm a consumer of shit. Like I'd like to be in it, and there's no place to go for that except your fucking car, or like if you have a house for it, you play loud music in there.
Yeah.
That's a fucking bummer.
Yeah.
We got another question.
Oh!
Favorite shows at the moment.
From who?
From sorry, was it Malia?
Malia.
Malia Malloy.
Yeah. Hi, Malia.
Hi, Malia.
I read the question, so I'll just answer because I haven't had time to think
Wait,
about
say it again?
Favorite TV show at the moment? It was favorite shows at the moment. So I've never seen Curb Your Enthusiasm before, so I'm finally starting that.
That's exactly what I
great.
just watched.
Really?
This quarantine.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I saw a random season and like 8th season. Now I'm just starting from the beginning. It's amazing.
Is it good?
Yeah, I really identify with Larry David in too many ways. I'm more.
Yeah, he's fucked up.
I mean, he's the most neurotic, like.
He's every little thought you've had in your head, and he just says it. It's crazy. I'm so uncomfortable when I watch it. I'm so happy I don't watch it with like this whole group. If we were all sitting there watching it, I'd just be like, oh my god, man, oh.
Yeah.
That's a great show.
It's so good. It's so good.
The Spite Stores. That's what that is.
What about you?
Oh, well, I watched Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's what I just watched.
Oh, yeah, so is that your current favorite too then?
That's what I've watched. Yeah, I don't have I haven't watched anything else.
Yeah.
I watch documentaries. I watched that great documentary called Hail Satan the other day.
Oh.
Which is on Netflix, which talks about modern day Satanism, the Temple of Satan, which is really just you set yourself up as the antithesis. You know, you're the adversary. You know,
That's
it's
right.
not about worshiping Satan. It's about being the adversary against. You know, it's a great.
That's cool. I didn't
It's
know
using
that.
the U.S.'s laws against them. It's beautiful.
Yeah, they built a fucking. They said that if you have a 10 Commandments stone thing, then we can have a Satan.
We can have our Baphomet.
They tried to build a statue, right?
They did.
They built
awesome.
it. Yeah.
You know, but the whole thing is if you're going to push freedom of religion on us, then you have to believe in
We're
freedom
gonna
of religion.
exercise that.
You have to
I
believe
mean,
in freedom of religion.
Most people think that they're actually like worshiping Satan and stuff like it's all like one big poke at
It's
like
contrarian religion.
at organized religion.
It's against power. I believe you're poking power. You're saying that power doesn't exist. You just But it's really interesting because they do things like. They have these 7 tenets, and like the first one is empathy and compassion. So like, there's this woman in Detroit who's like the head of the Detroit chapter, and she calls for the head of Donald Trump. They instantly like kick her out of the Church of Satan because they don't believe in violence. They don't, they believe in empathy and compassion, which is interesting. Then her whole thing is like, how badass do you have to be to get kicked out of the Temple of Satan? And
That's some street cred.
But it's just a great. It has nothing to do with worshiping the devil. It has everything to do with fighting power,
Right,
and being an individual.
Yeah.
Satan is the
Autonomy.
embodiment of that's what I'm about. The embodiment that you are free. I am free to take a gun and go stand on the Capitol steps. I choose not to. I choose to help other people.
Right.
We are free to do what we want to. It's just all where we come from on that.
Right.
I keep talking.
Becca?
I feel like I'm the most talkative one here.
That's great.
It's okay.
Sorry, Ty. Sorry.
Becca, what's your TV show right now?
Probably Midnight Gospel.
Yeah.
It's like a mind trip listening to it and then having a totally different visual experience at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I watched that on acid a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
What is it?
That sounds like a lot.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Midnight Gospel is this guy Duncan Trussell is like a podcaster now. He kind of runs around with Joe Rogan and Chris Ryan and stuff. And I say Joe Rogan. He's pretty different from Joe Rogan, but they're friends.
Well, he's like a comedian.
He's a comedian
by trades.
Yeah. But he also has a doctorate, so he's got like some fucking intellectual shit going on that way. And he has a podcast called the Duncan Trussell Family Hour, and I guess the creator of Adventure Time listened to that podcast and was like, yo, I would love to work with you. We should make a thing. And like Duncan Trussell was like, yeah, I don't really know what I would do. But then finally he was like, okay, we should do it. And so their idea was to take podcasts and put them in a televised form. Mm-hmm. And so they like take Duncan Trussell's podcast or special moments of it, and then they couch it in this like animated narrative that's happening. It's really crazy, and I don't really even want to go into it, but it's like a main character named Clancy, who's a podcaster in the future, kind of in space. He calls it a space cast, and he just like goes into this universe machine, basically. It like simulates. It's a simulator. Simulates universes and finds like interesting subjects, and then podcasts with them. But all the while, there's this like crazy, otherworldly shit happening. And so, and it's like, again, it's this crazy animation where they're like having a podcast conversation about deep shit, but there's like really weird, trippy stuff happening around. Okay. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super cool. It's like you have to watch it like 3 times over
Is
just
it?
to
Yeah.
like, hear the stories,
What
see the visuals.
platform
and,
is
like,
it?
understand.
Netflix.
Yeah, just on Netflix. Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Ty?
Yeah. That one's mine too, but I'll say a different one.
Yeah.
I just watched Waco.
Yeah, I just watched that too.
That one's kind of wild. It's about like this cult commune that like for some reason they were stockpiling guns, which I'm still interested as to why they were doing that.
Yeah.
Well, that was like the raid that the ATF did on
And the
that compound.
FBI. Yeah.
Mm,
And they ended up burning a building down and killing 76 people.
yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They tear gassed it.
They tear gassed
They
it.
did
Yeah,
Burn
the
it
tear
down.
gas. The
They
tear gas like
gassed
caught
it.
the place.
It seems
on
like
fire.
it got burned from the tear gas. And yeah, it was a messy
Yeah.
situation.
Well,
Also, there was like a cult leader doing like
Cult stuff.
some child marriage stuff. Kind of,
It-
and it wasn't. Great.
It seemed like it was probably some Jim Jones level
Yeah.
shit
Yeah.
going on.
Not quite, but yeah. I know. Last podcast on the left has a good episode about that. I was gonna go back to.
Oh, Jonestown or Waco?
Waco, both, but Waco in this case. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've been watching Chernobyl a bit. It was at the beginning of this COVID stuff, and it's interesting. I've been obsessed with it because it's like shows the way that states mishandle crises, and the way that like
Especially like the totalitarian, like authoritarian states.
right.
Not admitting that anything is wrong.
Yes, that's it. And then how that non-admission or the ignorance of the truth leads to like worse consequences than if they just like faced up to what was actually happening. But in Chernobyl's case, Russia didn't want to appear like they fucked something up really badly, so they like misreported the numbers to people. And there's definitely a lot of like reverberations happening.
They didn't even
Right
like
now.
report it properly until other countries picked it up and were like, "What is
Yo!
going on up there?
Yeah.
This is a lot of radiation."
Yeah, Sweden was like, hey, like
Guys.
the shit floated over in the atmosphere, and they could tell. I'm interested in how they could tell, but they could tell it was from Chernobyl, and they're like, hey, something bad happened in Chernobyl because we're definitely getting particles over here. And the whole thing about particles and radiation is interesting in it too, because people are wearing masks and people are like washing everything, but it seems to kind of reflect what's happening now a bit
I'm reading
in
this
America.
completely unrelated book about reindeer right now.
Yeah.
But the main character, she is talking about how she was flying up to, like deeper up into like Russia, and like she was detained, like in like an airport facility for like 7 days, and they didn't tell her what was going on. Then like they let her go. She goes and does her thing, flies back out, and finds out that Chernobyl happened. And they just like not telling anybody, and they let them like fly completely over like
Damn.
the radiation like exposure.
Wow.
Yeah. And so she was just like, what? Like my life could be completely altered now just because they again like withheld a lot of information from the people.
Yeah.
Oh
They're just like casually traveling. Yeah.
Right.
Crazy.
Mine isn't as cool, but it is really good. I've been watching. I finished it a while back, but Kipo and the Wonder Beasts. It's a kids show, like post-apocalyptic. Sort of feels like The Last Airbender. Post-apocalyptic, like mutants now control the earth, and humans are kind of on the low end of the food chain, and
They are.
it has Studio Ghibli sort of vibes, Last Airbender kind of vibes. I watch way too many kids shows.
The kid shows.
Yeah, I mean,
shows. Don't ask me why.
well, that's the whole thing when you become a
it would
parent.
be animated, like not like just kids shows, but ones with good stories, like Adventure Time.
Right.
Yeah, like Adventure Time is really good.
Well, when you become a parent, it's like adult shows aren't like a thing anymore. Like,
yeah, so if you find good stories and animated, you're like, oh yeah,
right.
I get wrapped. Even though I can watch adult stuff, I just got done with The Witcher and Tiger King.
of course.
Of course, yeah.
I too like junk.
Junk is great. Joe Exotic is like Trump, even more for TV.
I
somehow
don't get how he resonated. Like how some people were like, yeah, Joe Exotic. Like there's no heroes in that documentary. Like everybody's like kind of like, oh man, that was the point. But there's people like,
he's just
Joe
so
Exotic,
freaky.
free him. I'm like, really? Like,
is that? Do people grab onto him in a genuine way?
I don't know. And I know like the Carol Baskins thing is meant to be humorous, but
right.
Some people I think genuinely are like there's actual people like trying to free Joe Exotic.
Right.
Like,
there's definitely T-shirts for it.
Yeah, I didn't find any redeemable characters.
No, he's horrible. And apparently they edited it out a bunch of times that he says the N-word and stuff.
Oh really?
Yeah, so he's definitely a shithead.
Well, that's the insane thing. So like they reopened that park and it was fucking packed. Yeah, and it's like, did you guys learn nothing from the show about like the cub petting and all that? Like,
it's about the spectacle, as Trump has proven.
Right. I mean, you got to go for the Instagram shot or something.
Whatever makes it popular, whatever gets people talking is what's gonna make you blow up. And
I
Trump.
did go to the zoo today.
You went to the zoo?
Fun. Yeah. With my parents.
Did it make you sad?
Yeah, I was really mixed feelings.
Uh-huh.
I felt sad though.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of those animals should be roaming much bigger territory.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot are rescued, but it makes me sad, like, passing by, you pass by where the bald eagles are, and it's like, oh, that's like the symbol of America, and it's like, they can't fly anywhere, they just sit there on those fucking posts for, like, all the time. It's so sad.
Straight up.
Like, that's America.
Zoos suck. America is a zoo for people, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
for sure. Yeah,
I like that.
So
you
we
should write a book.
I don't know, maybe
You should write a book, yeah.
We're down to about 5 viewers.
Yeah,
Not up to
let's-
6 viewers, but
It doesn't matter. I was thinking of. I don't care about the viewers. I
care about the viewers.
Okay, well, you're a tool.
We can run them all off. Let's be like that band that never stops. It's like the end of the night. You're like, well, I got to get my amp out of here, and I don't want to walk it through the room.
I guess we'll just wrap it up since Jordan is so uncomfortable with the viewership.
Yeah, I listen to the people, but
Yeah,
do what you
it's
wanna
fine. Thanks, people, for tuning in. Catch us in 2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks, yeah.
I don't know what we're gonna have
Let's
on.
see what the date is. Yeah, TBD.
To be determined with our interview guest and our musical guest.
Taco Boat Day, TBD.
Taco Boat Day.
Taco boat.
Yeah.
Boat
Most
full of
important
tacos.
day. Yeah.
May 31st, 2 weeks from today.
At 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
on YouTube here.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can garner a better following on YouTube than on our Facebook, because Facebook sucks ass. YouTube probably sucks ass too on it.
You gotta show me how you do this on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll show you.
I've just been doing it on
Or somebody
Facebook.
will.
It's the same way you broadcast to any other platform. Like you can use
go
the
to-
same stuff.
Okay.
So subscribe on YouTube and all that bullshit.
Subscribe.
Waste Division is on Instagram and Facebook as well. and,
Facebook.
Ding that bell.
Ding that bell. Be sure to check out Kirk's Grocery on Facebook and Instagram, and your website is
KirksGrocery.com.
Kirk's Grocery, KIRKS Grocery.com.
Yep.
And Chad is in the band Bill Moved Away, and they have Facebook.
Inactive Facebook.
Inactive Facebook. It's been very useful.
We're working on
Post something
recording.
tomorrow,
Once
man.
we do that, I know. I don't. Yeah.
You can just say, hey,
Hey, what's up?
what's up?
What's up?
What's up?
Hey, you up?
Hey. I'm just gonna start hitting on all the Facebook.
With your hand.
Bill moves.
Hey, baby.
What's up?
You ever go to a page and it's just like this page replies in like less than 5 minutes or something like that?
Well, thanks everybody. Tune in again. We'll all say bye in our masks, I guess.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.